It's just switched to... Can you guys try talking real quick?
Hello.
Hello. It's
Okay,
me,
cool.
Mako.
I've become more blue.
More
I
blue!
made the shadows blue and also the base bloom color blue.
Okay,
It did go down the wrong pipe. I've been eating dark chocolate peanut M&Ms.
Does that make you more blue?
Yeah.
The ambient occlusion? Yeah, it turns the...
Oh no, I'm talking about the M&M eating.
Oh, I have no
fuck?
idea about that one.
Also, I'm good now.
I'm like, we're professional streamers.
Of
definitely
course.
Oh, shit.
everything.
Only professional streamers have a podcast, right?
Honestly,
We're switching to the podcast section.
we're slowly getting to just talking about true crime at some point.
Shit.
Yeah, we should do that in
Become a true
October.
crime. Become a true crime podcast.
The whole month of October, we're just true crime podcast.
I would sooner take a
Okay,
long
now we're
walk
good.
off a short pier. Do you understand?
True crime.
I'll
the
take your
Gemini
long walk
Star
off a
Filter.
short pier.
What?
Huh?
I'll take something long.
What?
What?
I'll take something long if it's coming from someone who...
You don't have to say someone. We know who you're talking
No,
about.
it's Kestrel.
You're laundering your own argument here. Like it's.
Say
What do you mean
Kestrel.
laundering?
Just say his name. Just say their name.
Oh,
Oh,
you
it's-
have white
I forgot to
chocolate
turn-
pretzels, Cerdos? That sounds so good!
I forgot to turn on streamer mode.
Fuck.
I like dark chocolate! Yeah, dark chocolate.
Dark chocolate's pretty good. I do like dark chocolate, but that's not the topic.
It can be something.
Now Nick looks super tired.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, but all the shit that happened today, and not to mention I'm gonna have to do some stuff after stream too.
Oh no.
All right. Are we about ready?
Are we on the podcast screen?
I have everybody on the podcast stream right now. Just like
I've been on the podcast stream.
I just-
and
I just need-
shouldn't have.
Yeah. I'll just start the recording now.
how dare you?
And shut up. All right, we are on the screen. Discord audio appears to be coming through. I think we are good to go.
Anus.
Nope. Don't even start that.
I just did.
He just
Spainus! Spainus!
The one time I forgot.
I love
my
that
words.
every time I record one of these, I have to cut out the first minute and a half because of shit like this.
Because we all scream penis.
I think that's our cue time. That's how we cue ourselves in. We just yell out penis.
Jemison is in Spain without the S.
Always.
I'm is always in Spain without the S.
I just spelled Spain wrong in my head.
How did you
I'm in
Spain
Spain with
wrong?
the.
I'm in-
You're in spin? Yes.
Yes. That's how it works. When you forget where your fucking script is just to say the intro.
Oh shit, I forgot to turn this music off. Hold on. Boop.
Oh my goodness.
Oops. It doesn't much matter if you guys have music in your VODs,
Yeah.
because at the end of the
Nah.
day, my recording is the one that's gonna have
Yeah, yours is
is
the
gonna be uploaded.
CC.
True. Alright, so are we all
Alright.
ready?
Scary or not.
Yeah.
I am.
I choked on my M&M songs.
What?
What?
I sucked it into my mouth and it hit the back of
Why are
my
you
throat and
sucking
almost...
on M&Ms?
Cause I'm bored, comfy.
With that
You're
being said,
telling me
hello everybody.
Comfy
My
is
name is
when you
Akaris Noctua, aka Comfy Owl, and I'm today's host for this podcast of Dungeons, Dragons, and Owls. To my right is none other than Gemini Starfielder. Say hello, hello.
Hello. What the fuck is that title for the topic? That was crazy.
On the underneath me is Mako Thresh. Say hello.
Hello.
And the tired-looking dog on the bottom right
DaVinci
is
Resolve.
Nick Kuda. Say
Yes.
hi, Nick. Well, that's how they say hi. And today we are discussing.
Scary. Hi. Anyways.
We are discussing Dungeons and Dragons and just personal experiences and all that stuff.
Oh wait. Let me.
And
There
we
to
go.
start off this podcast, we're going to ask the first question, and that is, what was your first thought when being introduced into D&D? And we'll start off with no particular order. Gem, go.
You
No
sure,
particular
it's
order.
not the order that you introduced
Nope.
us.
No, not whatsoever. So,
No, you're
what was
just-
your
you're just
first
choosing one.
thoughts when being introduced into D&D?
So, the first time that I played what my friends called D&D, it wasn't D&D in the fucking slightest. They basically just, like, came up with a system on the fly and used, like, a handful of, like, D&D features, right? Like, races, classes, and whatnot. But, like, the broader features of the game weren't present. So it wasn't really the same game. But the first time that I like actually played like real D&D, I think it was actually the like Middle Earth tie-in edition of, I want to say 3.5. It might have been 4 though. Not entirely sure. It was whatever version my friend's dad had on hand. But it was a lot of fun. It was like a 2-player session, and it was basically just my friend is playing a dwarf, I'm playing an elf, and we're going to save a town from some orcs, and I had a lot of fun with it. And like since then, I've just absolutely gotten like just completely hooked on D&D, and I'm like just about always looking for an excuse to play it.
So with that,
Wow,
with Jem
wow.
answering the first 2 questions, then the first one, Mako, what is your first thought when being
Okay,
introduced into
okay.
D&D, and what was your first game of D&D like?
Oh,
That's the same
Well-
question.
Nope, not. Being
I mean-
introduced and the first game is 2 different things.
yeah, because
Like, what was your thoughts of being like, hey, this is D&D, your introduction into D&D, not the first
Well,
game.
my introduction was when I was like, I want to say I was a freshman in high school when I first got into D&D, and it was all due to my English teacher, who was the biggest fucking nerd I'd ever met in my entire life.
Great. That's great.
I was like, you can be an adult at this age and still be into this stuff? Fuck yeah! And he was talking about it, and I'm like, this is really interesting. I really want to try it out. Lo and behold, man made a Dungeons and Dragons club, so I joined that right away. And that's when I had my first game where I played a dark elf bard for some reason. And all I remember is we ended up somehow with a panda, and I don't remember most of it. But it was really fun. I got to play with a bunch of other high schoolers, and it was pretty cool. And now I am way out of high school, and still like to play. I still play D&D on the regular. I've actually started DMing. Speaking
Thank you,
of,
Highway.
Jem, I can always DM a game if you want the involved. Just saying.
What?
Now, Nick, what was your first like? What was your first thought when you were introduced into D&D? And what
Our
was your
host,
first game
everybody.
like? What?
Don't worry about it.
I did kind of derail it by answering both questions at
Yeah,
once.
you did.
My God.
But yeah, I did not
Don't
prep
make
you
the second
guys.
question a tie into the first question.
My
I'm
God.
doing my best. So Nick, go ahead.
What was the question? Like, what I think
So
of?
what was your first thought of being introduced into D&D, and how was your first game like?
Well, I haven't have that much D&D experience compared to you two. I am only doing the second one right now, which if you want, you can check it out on twitch.tv Niku Hero for tomorrow.
What is your D&D game called?
Beast World. We're doing that right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
And
Nick is
information
actively
below.
playing D&D while recording this episode.
I know, right?
I'm putting
Comfy,
like an info bubble on the top
Comfy,
right,
Comfy is like actively playing Baldur's Gate 3 as we're talking about.
I am
I wouldn't be
not.
surprised.
I wouldn't either.
Don't detract. So
Anyways,
how was it?
my first one, I was pretty much not sure how I should act in a situation because I played as a Kitsune Bard, or Fox Bard, basically. And I think I named it very simple. It was a kit, and it's really funny because my current not Dungeon, sorry, D&D is a ranger rabbit, right? But then when we got to a place where it's like very tavern, kind of like those places, right?
Yeah.
I got a crit. I got a crit right off the bat when I said I wanted to work there for at least a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey,
This is
yes,
fair.
what a time to crit.
I know, right?
And yes, CPEV, you can play as furries in D&D. There's an abundance of furry characters that you can create and play.
Yeah. By the way,
And-
so the first time I played the D&D, it was pretty fun. I think considered there was some awkward moments. It was with my friends. They're online also. It was pretty fun, but later on it got a bit too overly competitive, you could say.
You got competitive?
I
What
won't
makes
say
D&D competitive?
I won't say
Okay.
names, but two of my friends were basically it's so into D&D. They basically kind of like fucking tinfoil hat of what build they could go for.
Oh, they were
kind of-
mid-maxing.
Yeah,
Okay.
basically, yeah.
All right,
Ah.
Nick. I don't know that you know what a tinfoil hat means.
I'm sorry, I said the wrong words. My bad.
That's like conspiracy theorists.
Conspiracy theory, yeah.
Tinfoil hat wearers.
Right,
yeah.
right. I forgot. But yeah, it was basically very mid-maxing, kind of like seeing what's the best solution kind of
They're
situation.
power gamers.
Yeah, basically. Which like that's not a bad thing, but for us, for the majority of us that was casuals, it's like, especially our TM, he didn't do that much players in comparison, so it was like, so it was just rough later on,
was rough.
and so we kind of ended in the middle, unfortunately.
That's rough, buddy.
Yeah.
Damn.
Anyways,
So, yeah.
did ya?
Yeah, that was pretty good. I would, to just answer my own question, being the last one. Well, my dogs are barking in the background. My first introduction into D&D
Oops.
was in college, freshman year of college, and they had an empty seat, and they found me and said, "Hey, you want to join in? Here's a character that you could play." And it was a dwarf sorcerer who had like the what's it called, the draconic bloodline.
Yeah.
I had no idea what I was fucking doing. All I know is that we escaped jail, kidnapped a princess from because she didn't want to marry this dude, and now we were on the run from the government at that point.
I mean,
So it's the one campaign that Brennan Lee Mulligan ran and like used as an example in like 3 interviews.
Yeah, basically like that. It was honestly basically like that. It was fun, and like we kept playing, and then we moved from like just the like doing D&D in the basement of our college science building to doing it over Discord. And honestly, it was really fun. It was a great introduction, and the game was fun. And like just from then on, it just became like going to different games and having multiple characters, and it was just like downhill from there.
What's going on with Mako? Did you fall asleep there for a second? What was that?
Damn, I'm
No,
sorry, Mako.
I was looking down. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm
Sometimes
boring.
my eyes are weird when I'm looking down, like right now. Sometimes my camera decides that my eyes are closed and not looking down. I was listening very intently.
Yeah.
Can I tell you everything you said? No. I can tell you.
I apologize
snippets.
real quick. I apologize for anyone if you hear yelling in the background. That
Your microphone is not nearly as sensitive as you think, Gumpy.
Yeah, I
I
don't hear
know, but
anything.
like they are loud and I can hear it. So yes, next question. What was your most memorable moment in D&D
that's
that
it.
made you feel like, yeah, I like this?
Like
So-
Mako?
Like our most memorable moment out of
Like
all
out
of
of
the D&D
all the
we've
games
played.
that you've played.
Okay,
Oh,
so,
God.
so then you asked for 2 different things then.
Yes. The
Okay.
introduction into D&D.
No,
what the first game was like, and what is
this
your memorable moment?
in this question you asked for 2 different things. right? Because
What was your most memorable
your most
moment that made
memorable
you feel
moment-
like, yeah, I like this?
Yeah, that's two different things.
But I'm putting it as one, as like,
Yes,
this is
but-
what made you want to play D&D.
Okay, but let me say this: the thing that made me want to play D&D isn't my most memorable.
Yeah,
moment.
mine either.
Okay. All right, then we'll split it off into two then. Marco, what is your most memorable moment in D&D?
And what made me want to play? Okay, so what made me want to play D&D? Like, what got me like was like the thing that got me hooked was actually, believe it or not, like I was on and off again with D&D. I was like, yeah, this works. But then I played Curse of Strahd, and I couldn't stop after that. That was really fun. I was like, this is my life now. And I was like, I'm a character creating machine anyway, so why not put myself to good use? And my most memorable moment was actually recently. Like, one of my favorite moments of all of my D&D playing, and like one that like sticks out in my memory, is when for the first time ever as my artificer I decide I'm gonna use one of my level spells, and I just fucking blasted 3 scorching rays at it, and it did, and it, oh my god, it looked, the way I visualized it, the way it sounded, the way we kind of played it off was just so cool, and it was just a pivotal moment for my character, and Comfy knows this moment. Comfy knows exactly what I'm talking about.
I want you to explain it. Yeah, I know the moment.
It's so cool because one, it was the beginning of my character kind of realizing, okay, yeah, maybe I'm a little bit of a pyromaniac now, huh? This works out wonderful, and kind of losing touch with reality for a hot ass minute, but oh, it was so cool. It was so cool. So awesome.
It's a fire. Fire is cool.
Exactly.
Fire is cool.
And like, again, Curse of Strahd is what got me into it, because that's where I got to play my character Asu for the first time, and I got to turn myself and my water elemental that I summoned into holy water elementals and just rip through Strahd's ass. So that was really fun too. So that's kind of what got me hooked. Just like, okay, you can do some really cool shit in D&D, and then
Yeah.
that moment's like one of my top memories right now, and I'm like, ah.
Nice. Gem?
So we're answering both at
Yes,
once?
we're
Okay.
answering both at once.
Cool. So I think the thing that kind of got me like really hooked on D&D was like the first like kind of home game among like a group of friends that we ever played, because one of the player characters was just being kind of an anus the entire time, and so like at one point I just like kind of intentionally, but I played it off as though it's like, oh, I didn't fucking see you there. I was playing a Dragonborn at the time, and I sent my breath weapon, because it's an unimpeded cone, through the thing that we were fighting, and at the guy that was being kind of an anus the entire session.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that was fun that I was able to like retaliate at someone without like real world consequences. That's pretty rad. And then so my most memorable moment is kind of a two-parter, because it's kind of requisite on something that happened at the beginning of the campaign, and then it's like the way that the campaign kind of ended. So this campaign was something completely homebrewed by our DM, and I think I was playing. It's the only bard that I've ever played. I enjoyed playing a bard, but I've never played another, because I know that no bard that I ever play ever again can live up to this fucking legacy, right? So like I was playing like just like a straightforward bard, right? Like I wasn't like trying to seduce everyone that we met, but there was one time where I was like, it would be kind of funny if I did that here, right? Because like after like the first few sessions of just kind of like figuring out our characters, figuring out the team dynamic, the real like meat of the campaign began, and kind of like the guide character for the campaign was this like goddess of the celestial plane or something like that, and like her whole vibe was that she was like the being that held the celestial plane together, right? And I was like, it would be really funny if I tried to have sex with this goddess of all people. Like, this is
Yeah.
like, this would be the funny one, right? And I rolled a nat 20 on it, right? But the DM said, okay, she's not, she like turns you down, but you can tell that like there's an allure there that she has for you, right? And like through the rest of the campaign, there was kind of this like flirtatious dynamic between my bard and this goddess that was guiding us through the entire thing, right? And like part of the end of this is just me straight up being stupid and not like connecting the dots, right? But in some way it was like kind of half revealed that the goddess is the mother of the like end all BBEG, right? And at some point during the campaign we boned, like it happened, right? And it never really connected in my mind until the perfect moment, because we were not doing well against the BBEG, right? And he was about to like obliterate the rest of the party because they were all kind of like bunched up in one spot,
Did you tell
and
me
I was
from his
on
mom?
and I was on the other side, and I was like, "Hey DM, if I do a good enough vicious mockery, can he just like turn his focus straight to me?" Because I realized in that moment that I had sex with his mom. And so it's like, sure, what do you say? And like this was like maybe like 3 weeks after the Lightning McQueen fucked my mom meme came out. so it's like, so what do you say for your vicious mockery? And it's like I call out to him, and I don't remember the BBEG's name, but I was like, "Hey, I fucked your mom, shit limbs." And it worked. Right? Like it worked so well. I only rolled. I'm trying to remember. Vicious mockery is an attack roll, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was.
believe so.
I rolled 2 nat 20s that entire campaign. It was the initial seduction attempt and that vicious mockery. like I can't live up to that legacy ever again. I'll never play a bard ever again because it'll never
Top
be.
that.
It'll like nothing can ever top that. So that is easily the most memorable D&D moment that I have. Like I think I definitely have like more memorable like really short moments from other TTRPGs.
But not like long lasting
but like
into that.
yeah, but like D&D, that is easily the like most potent memory.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
How about you, Nick? Wait, in the current game, I'm assuming this is your first game. This is your main game. You were
The
playing
second
this
one.
tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm playing this tomorrow at twitch.tv/Sneaker Hero. Anyways.
Oh my god.
Do you have a memorable moment from the campaign you're doing right now? Or
What
do you
was
have
the
any
question? What is the
previous?
most memorable and what makes you stick
What
to
made
D&D?
you? Yeah. What's your most memorable and what made you say, "Yeah, I like this"?
It's not the same to me in this part. It's more of player antics. I just like what Jen just did to his bard just now. Like, that's great. That's a great fucking antic. You just came up with it, and like that's a great story to go by, and you just can't tell it to your friends. I love those type of things where it's just like, these are stupid as fuck to hear, but they're great.
Yeah, like it's just
Yeah.
it's great moments.
I think one of my antics was, I think I said it before already. It was the time where I critted on the one part where I was in the tavern place that was like very. It was a tavern place that was very intimate with their clients, basically, right? So I wanted my character to like, to like
Walk
extreme-
in and someone starts fucking you immediately.
No. Is it
Oh,
like?
hey, we know what that's
Well,
like.
yes, that's a thing in there too. But there's like massage and stuff. But it's like easily just personal connection.
Yeah.
So when the session started, I was having trouble that day, unfortunately, because the thing is, it would have been on my stream if I could, but unfortunately, my OBS was being a shit, so I wasn't able to stream it. But I recorded it, so that's good.
Yeah.
But the first thing I did was there was a person in front of me who was asking me if there was anything she could do. I straight up just asked her if I could work, because my character does not know anything about the world. He's like very young adult. He doesn't know anything about this environment he's in. He's a very village boy. That's the word, right?
Yeah.
I like to imagine that, like, you thought it was a tavern the entire time, but it was actually like a brothel. And
A
you basically just
It's
walked in and said, "Hey, I
tavern.
want to fuck the clientele."
It's tavern slash brothel kind of situation. Not, anyways, but yeah, I asked the DM if I could do that. He said roll persuasion. I got a crit right off the fucking bat, and that was the first roll I did out of the session. So I was able to do that, and they dressed me up. They dressed me up for fit to that thing, and I was actually able to. And the thing is, I was rewarded for that thing because I was actually able to persuade some stuff out from the people that was necessary to the main story. And I was
Oh
like,
shit! You became an information gatherer.
Oh my gosh.
That's
Nice.
sick.
Yeah,
I'm using my position at the brothel to help gather information.
the thing is,
I'm using my position of being paid for sex
the
to
thing
get
is
information
too.
out.
The thing is too. I did not meant this to happen. I did not expect this to happen at all. This was just a very funny antics I wanted to do. I didn't expect it to be part of the main story. This happened.
Yeah.
Man,
It's
it's
so fucking
surprising.
So stupid.
But it also makes sense because, you know, sometimes people just let the fucking weirdest shit slip when they're with a complete stranger. So yeah, it
What?
makes sense that, you know, you work broadly, get the information. Makes sense.
Yeah.
I guess the only other memorable part is not in that same place, but the thing is, we had a baby owlbear for the time being.
No.
Oh,
Oh, that's great.
It's a girl named Hoodie, and I believe that she was. So there's like 5 of us right now, and one of them was with it because he's the caretaker for the owlbear, right? And the owlbear is like snuggling up to his shirt or whatever his clothes are, right? Because she feels close to him. Him and another guy was having trouble trying to like get her out of the way so he can like he could dress himself properly, but they're having trouble because Hoodie kept on biting them. But and then
Kept biting holes in the fucking clothes.
no, biting their fingers, like, kind of like,
Oh,
yeah, because they rolled low on the end of my hand. Like, I did it, and I was like, oh, come here. I rolled high enough, and I just picked Hootie up as like you would with like a cat. Like, you know how you like you just
pull up.
you just pull up, yeah, you just pull up from there, and she's just chill. I don't know why.
it's chillaxing time.
It's chillaxing once I picked her up for some reason. Why? And it's funny too because those two who tried, they were just so confused seeing this average rabbit man just doing this, picking up this fucking owlbear. It's very funny. I think that's basically it. Yeah. But yeah, my memorable and what made me stick to the NEA is players' antics and being rewarded with that. I love this shit. I love this shit a lot.
Nice. So, leading up from that, what is your...
You didn't
favorite
answer the
character that you
question.
made? I thought I could dodge it.
No.
You answer it,
Because
bitch.
my favorite moment is technically not as a player, though. That's the thing. Because you guys are
That's
playing from
fine.
a player's perspective.
Sure,
My
well,
favorite
that's
was...
player.
As much as I also hate that person now, but as a GM, I was doing a Curse of Strahd Halloween campaign thing with my friends, and I thought it'd be a great idea to introduce my boyfriend at the time into the game.
Okay.
Oh boy, the Strahd one with my best friends lasted like was at least three to almost a month in, and when he joined in, they got chased out of the town by an angry mob into not out of the town. They got chased by an angry mob into a pretty tall building, and they hid underneath it, and his bright idea was like, okay, I can distract them. I cast Earth Tremor in the basement of this very large building.
Oh no.
What the fuck?
So he casted it, and the entire building crumbled on top of them, dealing over 100 plus damage to them in fallen debris.
Oh.
I mean,
And that ended. That was like 20 minutes into the game, and he killed the party immediately.
Damn.
That was my most memorable moment.
Understandable. That's pretty
What
good.
made me say, yeah, I like this game, or like what that like got me into D&D entirely, like just stick with it, was actually Critical Role. After watching
I mean,
them.
that's fair, honestly. That's fair.
Like it led after watching them like season 1 and then following until now season 3, like I gotta give it to Critical Role for like getting me into D&D like permanently. Just seeing people like playing with their characters, actually role playing with that got me into like wanting to role play the character more and more. Like actually speak as the character, think as the character, make up a great backstory for the character, like do all these stuff, and just like like just act them out. So yeah, that's what got me into. That's my most memorable moment as a dungeon master, because I currently, like, out of all the games that I have, not one sticks out over the other. Like each game had their own memorable moment, but I don't have one that sticks out the most.
You saying that with the Earth Tremor reminds me of a YouTube short about something that's similar to happened, but
Okay.
it was a lot more larger scale, because I don't remember what it was again, but I think they pulled out a ring, but the ring was like a trigger to like an explosive or something like that. I don't remember though, but yeah, it was just what the fuck.
Yeah. Well, leading from that question with any and on Critical Role, have you guys watched any other D&D games on YouTube, Twitch, or listened to a podcast that you can think of?
I've listened to a number of them. So there's obviously Dimension 20. I have a hard time like watching Critical Role. It just feels like long. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like, it just feels like it like carries on for too long. I forget. I can't think of the name of the campaign, but it's hosted on the Dice Dragons Guild. They have a really good campaign going. I've started listening to Legends of Evantris.
Yes.
That group is really fun.
Which
They
one
really
are you watching?
are.
What was
What was
that?
that, Nick?
Which one are you watching? I didn't even catch it.
Legends of Evantris.
Yes, I was. Oh yeah, I was. That's it.
Yeah. So yeah, those are the ones that I've been kind of listening to recently.
How about you, Mako?
Well, I really I used to watch Critical Role a little bit. Then I watch a lot of clips from Legends of Atlantis, and then what was the other one? Oh, I can't remember the name of it, but I've watched it back when I lived in Illinois, and I can't remember the name of it right now.
Oh no.
Hold on. Just think. Ba 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 ba. Oops, not that. Oops, that was the wrong button.
while we wait for Mako. Nick, do you have any? Do you have any that you watch or listen to?
I watched believe it was the animated version of Critical Role, I think.
Vox Machina.
Yes.
The Vox Machina
Yes, that
series?
one. Yeah, I watched the first season of it. It was pretty good, and it was just very interesting to see like it being condensed down enough to just like see what they had would done like in real time kind of situation. Because normally it takes a minute or two like to see what you want to do kind of situation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of interesting to see what they've done for like taking a entire session to like a show. I find that interesting. But also I think Legend of
Avengers.
Avengers. I was about to say Avengers for some reason, but I knew that was not the right word.
Yeah, no. It's
But yeah, I watched a bunch of clips on that for sure. I think the one of my favorite was the cursed one.
Which-
The curse. It was because
there are
that
a lot
one.
of curses.
It was the
The
guy.
one that turned into a vampire, or
No, it's the
where
one-
they.
It's the one
There's
where
the one where the guy can't laugh.
there's the one that guy can't laugh. Yeah.
Ah,
That's
okay.
funny,
Yeah, that one is funny.
Like, bruh, that's so bad for him.
Oh yeah, he laughs at fucking everything.
Yeah.
He cannot. You cannot do that to that man. He
I
just laughs
know,
and takes
poor
damage.
Mace.
I love it
I
starts
think-
out with him just saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna pass out."
Yeah.
They have to remove
Have
it,
you
but
found
they
it, Marco?
can't.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Acquisitions Incorporated.
that one's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard of
that.
that one.
I knew it. The reason I had to go check is because I couldn't think of the name of the film. Like, I believe I've seen it when I've been doing stuff for D&D for 5e. I'm like, I'm sure I've seen the name of it while I've been in 5e tools. So I'm like, let me go check around here. I'm sure something will pop out. Boom.
That's where we get Gift the
That's-
Gab. That's where we get to Gift the Gab.
That's why I've heard that name. I've seen it on 5e tools.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, other than those two, there's nothing else. I don't really like go out my way to watch those, honestly.
So, other than
No.
Critical Role, for me, I remember in college that I listened to a lot of Spotify, so I listened to a lot of podcasts. So I have like a couple that I've listened to. I've listened to, my first one was The Adventure Zone, which I do love. That one is a really cool one where they start off in like the beginning level area of Fendelver, the Mines of Fendelver tutorial game, where you go from level 1 to 3, and then from there it just goes off, and it's funny. It's like, I don't know how else to like explain it. It just goes off, and I could not stop listening to it. And they have now the like multiple other series within their podcast. The second one I listen to and love is Dungeons and Daddies, not a BDSM podcast. Is where a bunch of dads and their sons get basically isekai'd into the D&D world, and they are on a mission to find all their sons and make amends with them, and in the sense of in the sense of the main villain trying to get them to like be better dads
Be better.
and be better.
Do better.
Then we also have
Better.
I've started one or two episodes of it, but Queens of Adventures is a full drag queen like D&D podcast, which is really cool. It's very very sassy and very funny. It's just a bunch of drag queen comedians playing Dungeons and Dragons.
D20
That
did
was
a
really nice.
drag queen season, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They did one season, yeah. Other than that, like we have on the YouTube site Critical Role, we have Dropouts, Dimension 20, and all their other things. There's one that I want to catch up on, but I haven't got onto it. It's from Anthropology. Basically, it's a full-on furry campaign. I feel like people know the artist within the community. His name is Fek, F-E-K, and they're running their own
Never
entire
heard that
D&D
name.
thing. You have never heard of that? Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Damn, I'm old. But yeah, that's
Don't you
one
were
I
the
want to
same
get.
age.
And then, yeah, but you don't. I'm an old furry. I'm old by furry standards. I'm almost there. I'm almost 30. That's when
So
I
am
die.
I.
guys.
The fuck you mean?
That's when we're gonna die.
Yeah, you're right.
We
We're
become
gonna get
elders.
Don't worry, we'll be reborn as furs. That's okay. It's
No, that's
fine.
furs. New furs.
New furs. We won't be the usual furs anymore. We'll be the new
Oh.
furs.
New furs. New furs.
The born again furry.
Born,
Born again furs. Are
born
we
again
starting our own
furries.
religion now? The
Yup.
born again furries.
Speaking of being born again, what's your
What if-
favorite character? What's one of your favorite characters in D&D in general, from your campaigns or as a character from something you listen to?
Just as a side note, I think it would be funny if we like changed the group name to the Born Again Furs, that a bunch of like
A lot of
religious
Born
people just started showing up and it's like, what the fuck is this? I think that would be pretty funny.
What the hell is this?
Fuck.
Religious trauma will ensue.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, who's starting
So-
the answers for this one?
We'll go with, I think Nick. Like, out of all the characters you've seen in D&D and all of the characters you've currently played, what's your favorite?
He's thinking real hard over there. His eyes are
Really
shut.
hard. He's blushing.
I have one, but it was from the first campaign, which didn't last that long. So a friend, it was still in the middle of the session, and a friend wanted to join, and when he joined, he made a very, what's the word? Like sharp tongue kind of character, and it was really
Silver tongue.
silver tongue character, and I'm just having that in my head because one of the players that I said that was like min-maxing kind of situation, he was pissed off by it, and also it was kind of funny. that was the he also had a interesting little thing because he was a warlock.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he kind of did a thing together with the DM, so it's kind of interesting to hear. But it is interesting to hear his way of seeing how his character's kind of like role playing him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the main thing is just basically him being able to piss off that one player.
Piss on them.
10 out of 10. Piss
10
on
out.
them.
10 out of 10 pissed again.
It's better to be pissed off than to be pissed on.
Is it
Don't
though?
kink
What
shame
if you're
people,
into
stop.
that?
Don't kink shame people, Jam. There are some people that are into
Yeah,
that.
some people would rather be pissed on than pissed off.
Exactly.
And Jem,
They like their water
And Gem
sports,
is one of
okay?
them.
Why would you?
Yeah.
That's not a real
Jim-
thing. Why are
Yeah.
you lying about me?
and Jem's king is kink
That's
shaming.
slander. All right, that's what that is.
Now listen, what if kink shaming is his kink? We can't kink shame his kink shaming kink, okay? Because then we're no better.
You guys, stop lying about me.
And leading up to lying about Gem,
I didn't
Gem, what's
say
your
anything,
favorite
okay?
character? What's your favorite character out of all?
Why
The
would you?
games you
Why would you
played and
preface
whatever
it
you
with
listen
"while
to.
we're lying about Gem"? Why would you preface it with that? As
Your
if,
name wasn't in the
as
sentence.
if my answer is gonna be a lie.
No, it's gonna be the truth.
I think my favorite character that I've ever encountered, just because I kind of get to fuck with him however I want, is this little dude that first time player made and decided to go with the Matt Mercer class Blood Hunter,
Yeah.
which brilliant move for a first time player. Definitely not a complicated
Beautiful.
class at all.
Definitely not.
But the character's name is Bastard. He's a homebrewed class from the 5e wiki page called a Squirian. He's basically just this little squirrel dude. He stands at about 2.5 feet tall, and he doesn't have any flesh on his upper body.
Ooh.
So, like, from his waist up to his neck, it is just bones, including his arms. His arms are just bones,
Wait,
right?
is he cutting his
Mhm.
bones for the blood magic?
It's
No. That has nothing to do with it.
Ah.
when
His
people
little-
say they want
oh,
to
yes.
go on a diet.
And, like, the player didn't really flesh out his character much, like his backstory. So like he doesn't really have a lot of his memories, and like I'm really planning on fucking around with that like after a little while. And it's gonna be a lot of fun. But like kind of his whole bit is that he kind of like perpetually smells bad. So I had like the yeah, Bastards player couldn't make it to our last session, so I just had it that like when they got back to town from the thing that they were doing, like the session prior, two people from the Adventurers Guild basically just jumped Bastard, and for like the next 2 full days just bathed him until he was clean.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was great.
How about you, Mako? What's your
Me?
favorite? What is your favorite character out of everything that
Oh.
you've played and or seen and listened to?
That's such a hard question because I've made so many really good D&D characters, and I've voiced and done a lot of really interesting NPCs. Oh, how do I pick just one?
You want me to give you time to figure out to pick just one?
No.
Oh, well, you
'Cause
guys.
Right now, I've narrowed it down, but it's still a toss up between two because they're both from the same game, but they're both such interesting characters. They're both NPCs from one of my from my homebrew game. I guess I'll go with so she's one of my favorites because she was the first one that I made out of the two. Her name is Zathira. But she's just a cute little cute little like deer girl, and she's just she's so adorable, but like so tragic. She
Oh.
got some trauma, and she's blind, and I love her.
Pick a struggle.
But
so much
she
trauma.
she sees like tough. She sees with her feetsies, and it's so
Damn.
cool. But like also, you know, she's like 18 and has to lead an entire village of people, and she gets fucking premonitions, and it's spooky. And her parents died due to a scenario that's going on that I can't reveal because reason.
They don't
plot
watch.
reason.
They don't watch this. You don't know. Well, you can reveal it.
Well, I haven't gotten to start the game. You never know. Maybe you and Gemini will eventually play this D&D campaign I have. I don't want to spoil it.
No,
But
that's
yeah.
fine.
I'm 2 D&D games in. I might get over one.
I'm not gonna say I'll
Oh my
overwhelm you. It's not my
God.
place. That's
That-
locked.
You're right.
My
And
God.
I got rated Locke's bottom.
What?
I got rated by Locke. Hi,
Oh,
hon.
that's so cute.
Thank you for the bottom raid, guys.
What the
So
fuck?
yeah, her parents. So this is stuff I can't give away because characters that joined would know this. Her parents died due to what's called the rot, which is this strange decay that's like taking over the land. But there is specifically a custom race that I designed specifically for this campaign that I even offer as a playable race to like my players when they join. I'm like, hey, we have this race. If you want it, you can use it. It's called the Vandarin.
Yeah.
They're pretty much like these. They're a type of fey creature that take on slight animalistic characteristics based on different biomes and environments, and they're pretty much like guardians. Like Zathira is technically what's called the High Priestess of an enchanted forest that her and her people are destined to protect. And depending on where you find them, different Vandarins will have different characteristics. Like Zathira has more deer-like traits, like a little snoot, horns, like not horns, technically they're antlers, and her little floppy deer ears, and so cute. And she's got a little deer tail, and it's adorable, and I love her. But yeah, she's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I kind of went on a tangent.
No, you're fine.
You're
Apology
fine.
accepted, but not needed. It's all for content.
As
But
a,
yeah, it was really fun. I enjoyed creating her and the race, and
Yeah.
yeah, there's a
Yeah.
bunch of other Vandarins in the game, and like, it's so cool. And like I always encourage my players, I'm like, hey, if you want to try out this race, go for it. It's really interesting. Especially for people that like more identify like with the furry community. It's like, here, give this a shot. You might like it. You
Yeah.
never know.
The dumb
know.
creature.
You want to be part crab? If you want to be a cool crab, go for it.
Wham!
Yeah.
It's just a really cool way to kind of get things what you want them.
My God.
That's
Also,
pretty cool.
also, I'll be back in a
Should
bit,
totally-
so give me a second.
Speaking of, guys should totally play my game. It's called Fight for Mori Terra. That definitely should come join. Yeah.
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 Well, my favorite out of everything that I've listened, seen, and played would have to be a character from the Adventure Zone. It's a green-skinned elf wizard who's proficient in spellcasting, transmutation, and gastronomy, and their name is spelled Taako. Their name is Taco, and I love them so much. Their magic wand is an umbrella from spoiler here, that I can't say if no one have not listened to it yet. And they're just a flamboyant mess of abraca-fuck-yous and whatnots. And I just love them so much. And their favorite spell to cast is Fireball. They're just like, it's just a goofy elf man trying to figure out how to make a taco in the beginning. And that's all I can say about them. But yeah. So, I'm gonna keep saying leading from there, but like I don't like these questions are slowly not leading into from
It's just
anywhere.
slowly more and
So
more
this is just
disjointed.
more disjointed. This is going to be a little deeper, and a question for all of you, as per usual. What do you think of plot-driven stories versus character-driven stories? As in, like, player-driven stories versus what the DM has written down. What are your thoughts?
So that's kind of a twofold question to an extent, because like
There, hold on.
if you have to choose between those two, always and forever go with the player driven stories, because those are going to be more fun for your group usually, because then their players get like the players actually have like a purpose to interact with like what
There's
they're
a
doing.
reason why.
Right. Yeah, like there's a reason for them to be doing the stuff that they're doing. But if you're doing a campaign with an overarching plot, like if you're not incorporating your players, you're doing it wrong in the first place, right? Because then there's no stakes. They're like, why are your players saving the world, right? They're just some dudes that happened to stumble upon some shit and they just decided, hey, let's save the world. What? Like, leave that to people that are more qualified. What about the backstories makes this meaningful for your players? Like, that's something that you need to like figure out as a DM. You know, like when you're doing something with like a campaign with like an overarching plot. So like I don't think that those are necessarily disjointed things. I think that those are like plot is plot, right? And there should be an overarching story, and there should be player stories within it.
Okay. Mako, your thoughts?
Just say the question again.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
plot-driven stories versus player-driven stories.
Honestly, I think a good game needs to kind of have a mix of both. You can have a main plot, like most games have some kind of plot line to them, but you also have to take kind of in the players into account into how you want that plot to progress. Because like Jem says, like a bunch of nobodies aren't just gonna save the world for no reason. It's like, what's the motivation? Why are they trying? What? There's got to be something. Like, you don't just wake up in the morning like, I'm gonna save the world. I mean, unless you're from an anime, but that's a different story.
Yeah.
But there has to be a good balance of both, because you kind of want to have what you want to happen necessarily kind of laid out in front of you. But not to an extent to where you have to railroad the story all of the time and force players together. I mean, it may work in the beginning, but that's still gonna be dependent on, you know, players to like. Yeah, it's good to have a mix
Interact
of
with
both.
it,
Yeah. Because if you don't mix both, either it's going to be really boring and dry, but if you just go off of players, it can be absolutely chaotic with no like consistent story at all, which can be a little confusing. So, a good mix of both is like beautiful. It's like, yeah, tie your players into the actual story. See how their fates and like paths intermingle with each other, or like intermingle with the world. You never know.
How about you, Nick? What are your thoughts?
No comment.
What?
Just no thoughts, head empty.
no thoughts, head
I
empty.
mean, technically, Nick,
Well,
the new.
well, the thing
newest
is, you guys
D&D.
pretty much said all the things that I'm thinking of saying. I was like, yeah, what Marcus
I
said
mean,
is like,
speak your part.
yeah, it's like, yeah, it's like better to have balanced thing. But if I were to decide one thing or another, yeah, it'd be character specifically, because it's like you're gonna have to make it interesting. Yeah, you're gonna have to make it interesting kind of situation for your players to go through. Like, do you mind if I use the game as an interpretation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go for it. That's what
Yeah.
this literal questionnaire is for. Just use what you can.
Yeah. Like, okay, I'm using this example, but I guess, like, can
Reel it in. Reel
In
it in.
Final
reel it in,
Fantasy
reel it in.
14?
The critically
acclaimed
acclaimed
MMORPG in Final Fantasy 14, where you can go
Yeah.
up to level 70 in Stormblood.
Is it 70 now? I thought it was 60.
Yeah, it's
No,
70.
70, yeah, they updated it now.
What?
Yeah, they updated
Damn.
it. Yeah, it's updated.
It's almost like we should all play.
I still
Maybe
play.
I don't have money to get the game.
It's free. It's free.
It's free
for
up to level
Free up to
70.
level
Yeah, it's free up to
70.
level 70. Yeah, it's free. It's a lot.
So
of
you level 70.
Oh my god.
Anyways, but yeah, it's like story-wise, there is nothing going on in the beginning. You're just a basic kind of adventurer, but then later on you get a purpose. But then later on you get a purpose, like what you're doing. You're trying to like help these people that you know, kind of situation. It's like, yeah, but if you just get like pushed in there in the middle, then it's like, why am I here? Like kind of situation. What am I supposed to do with this? Like, why should I care? Kind of situation, you know. But because they build it up a bit better, a bit more before getting the main story, it makes things more interesting for you and your character kind of situation. That's what I feel, kind of situation. Anyway.
It's kind of the difference between like WoW and Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
14. Like, because with WoW, it's like, what the fuck is going on at
Yeah,
any point in
right?
time?
Seriously.
And then in Final Fantasy 14, it's like, oh, okay, I'm like just a person that like happens to be the chosen one, right? Like, and like, there's an understandable reason for why everything happens. Because like it's an overarching storyline,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you're in the middle of it.
Yeah,
Like,
you're
it's
like you're
your
actually
story.
you're actively part of the entire story kind of situation. Just like, so it makes things more interesting for you and stuff like that. And then later on, you can see it from other characters' perspective, but mainly you are part of the story. So which in D&D language, it makes a lot better because you, as like I said, if there's a balance, we can make it like a character and story driven thing, but it's just be better if you can like connect them together properly. kind of situation.
Ah.
Yeah, you
Okay.
you could make like a tragic story of one character's background to make it as one of the evil organization, and there's like a mastermind in the back kind of situation. You could like do something like that. It's just something you could think of based on what the player gave you on information wise. Yeah.
What do you think about the core plot versus character plot, Comfy?
I like to have like at least some form of stepping stones of a core plot. Well, yes, you can like jump off the stone and do your own character. I do like it if the player story starts intermingling back onto the world. Not like super railroading, but finding ways to mix both together so that it becomes cohesive. I do like the idea of player driven because it's fun, but it can also sidetrack from the overarching plot sometimes.
Yeah.
And sometimes you want to get your players from point A to point B without having to put them on a train and send them over immediately.
Yeah. I guess
But
it's
yeah,
like a different
it's a little bit of both.
railroad kind of situation. Like you could have the normal railroad, there's like the main story kind of thing, or you can have a separate railroad where it's like there's a character stuff there, but it's mainly core kind of situation.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah. So, speaking of story driven and character driven stuff, do you guys know any other non D&D type of tabletop games? Have you seen any like Shadowrun, Numera, Call of
I've played
Cthulhu,
Pathfinder.
Kids on Bikes, or Mutants and Masterminds? Have you seen any or played any?
Oh, I know of plenty.
Sorry, I didn't mean to just kind of jump in
Whoa,
at
what
you.
the fuck?
My bad, Comfy.
What the fuck just
I
happened?
just got excited. You
I
said
know.
any other tabletop games? I'm like, oh, I know some. I've done
trying to
Pathfinder
get this
and
number to
Call of
keep cutting your
Cthulhu and
fucking
a
views
little
up.
bit
There we
of
go.
Mutants and Masterminds. That's
Go
always
for it.
fun.
Go for it, Mako. Explain. Like, so, like, what did you find them interesting? Like, what about them you find them interesting?
Well, Mutants and Masterminds was fun because superpowers. I had to be
Yeah.
Super fast.
superpowers. It was fun. Pathfinder, I only did like one game, and it was like a Ravnica game, and it was
It was man.
It was Call of Cthulhu, however. Oh, I love Call of Cthulhu games. I don't know if it's the way just how they handle dice rolls or just kind of the setting. It was really enjoyable. I enjoyed being a pretty much a psychic in the 1920s. It was fun. It was interesting. I loved it.
Yeah.
And there was like a Pokemon one that we were trying out that was pretty interesting. I don't know what I liked about that one. Call of Cthulhu is like the biggest one that I remember that I really liked.
There is. It's just.
I want to
literally
get
a
back
focus
into
region.
Call of Cthulhu because it was so good.
Oh.
You
Okay.
do.
How about you, Jem?
I have played a handful. Why am I hearing myself through Nick? By the way,
Nick is watching
Why
the
not?
stream again.
I'm not watching anybody's streams whatsoever.
I think your headphones might be too loud because every now and again I can hear myself through your headphones.
Yeah.
But I've played 2 other systems, and I've seen one other that you haven't mentioned. So I've played Enclave, which is a diceless system that I've been playing for quite a few years now.
And we have played that together, and I do find
Comfy,
that
you
fun.
played a session of that. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like a lot of people are like, diceless. How are there mechanics if there's no dice? The mechanics are, does it make sense for that to work, right? Like that's kind of like how the mechanics work
This
for it.
metal
It's-
is bulletproof. This gun
Yeah.
can do headshots if held sideways.
Yeah, like just dumb shit like that of just like, hey, can I do this? It's like, well, what are your stats around it? And it's like, well, is it high enough? Yeah, all right, cool, you can do that, right? So I've played that. I've played another system that I have that I was actually introduced to through kind of the Enclave Discord server called Sagas. That's kind of like an acronym for setting and genre agnostic system. So it's kind of like Kids on Bikes, but the stat names are, I'm pretty sure, more like solidified, right? So like basically none of the like game content is specific to any genre, right? How like D&D, a lot of its stuff is like, hey, this is like very much high fantasy. You're dealing with like elves and orcs and dwarves and shit, right? But with Sagas, it's like you have kind of the core character features and then the stats, and then everything else is like up to you, right? So and like it handles dice rolls in a really interesting way. I can't really remember. I only really played like one session of it, but like the way it handles dice rolls, I remember being really cool.
Excuse me. So
No.
And just like the potential that it has for like the stuff you can do with it is a lot of fun. The other one that I've seen but haven't played yet because it's actually still new. There's actually a Kickstarter coming out for it soon. But I saw the guy who made Enclave play a session of it, and it looks really cool. It's called Pirate Borg, and it's pretty fucking cool. Obviously, it's like a pirate-themed system. And like it has a lot to do with like maintaining the ship that you're on, dealing with like your piratey abilities and whatnot, and like all of the characters. Yeah, but like all of the player characters are to some degree supernatural in their methods, kind of like Pirates of Legend kind of deal.
Cool.
And yeah, it's pretty rad. I watched the session of it, and it's the session from Necronomicon, and it was
Awesome.
it was pretty rad. It was a really good time to watch.
Sounds like it. Also, was Enclave the diceless system?
Yes.
If you're shooting a gun, do you think you'd get like 15% bonus damage if you shouted west side while you fired?
I mean, if it's I think it's a specific role that I had that I could do that.
Yeah, there was an ability that Comfy had where he could basically say, "Fun fact: this is true about thing," right?
Which
and
is
like,
obviously
obviously,
it's
like
called fun fact.
Yeah, like the ability is actually called Fun Fact. It's really fun, and like you can pull some really fun shit with that ability. But Comfy was basically just like, "Hey, fun fact: I
have
use
a gun now."
It's like if I turn this gun sideways, it lands headshots." And it's like, all right, cool. I built this campaign assuming there would be one more combat character, and now there's not.
And then this librarian is like, "Fun fact: horses can shoot guns."
Yeah, and I said, absolutely the fuck not.
Let him shoot a gun.
Yeah. What was I?
What was Locke's good freaking summon?
It was Locke's horse. Where did that quote end up?
What do you mean?
Because I know someone sent that quote somewhere.
Not sure. But because my eye is starting to hurt, we're gonna wrap it up with Nick. Did you play any other games before I wrap it up? Do you know any other TTRPGs?
that's like D&D.
That's non D&D, not non D&D. You're looking so mischievous right now.
I don't think so because
I've played the sex TTRPG.
What?
That's the face that Nick is making.
Someone clip that.
Jason made
Jammer
sex
played the
text.
sex TTRPG.
No, that's not what I was saying.
I know.
You know that's not what I was saying.
I know, I'm being stupid and stupid. What was it again? Shit. What? But probably nothing. Mostly because I don't really have anything like that.
Okay, that's fine.
Unless you
Well-
count like Yu-Gi-Oh, but I don't think that works.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Technically, it's
Yu-Gi-Oh!
tabletop roleplay game.
No, it's a tabletop game. It's not a
I
tabletop
want to roleplay
role-playing
as Yu-Gi-Oh!
game.
and keep saying it's
Yu-Gi-Oh is a
cool.
TCG, which is a tabletop, which is
Card
a
game.
Card game.
TCG is
Trading
trading
card
card game.
Yeah,
Shut
it's
up.
pretty cool.
I knew that.
My God. But yeah, I don't really have
Magic,
one.
but different.
final fucking question, because my eyes are starting to hurt.
How dare you?
Is there anything you guys would like to share or think that people should know about playing D&D or any other tabletop RPG games?
Play it however the fuck you want. Right? Don't let other people tell you how to play the game. The most fun that you can have with D&D is playing it the way that you want. Right?
Trust
If you
in the heart of the cards.
yeah, like if you
that's
think
Yu-Gi-Oh.
that is Yu-Gi-Oh. But if you think in looking at like kind of character options for any TTRPG really, like if you look at something and you're like that sounds cool, right? Don't let someone else tell you, well, that's unoptimal, so you shouldn't do that, right? It's like, well, if you want to cast Wall of Fire on your own raised undead, do that because burning zombies sounds kind of kick-ass, right? So, like, like do what you want to do. That's how you're gonna have.
Yeah, because
the most fun.
that makes my like one of other memorable moments too, where I think. Yeah, it was the beast, and it was a dungeon full of water, and there's a potion of water, breathing water, so everybody picked that. But I didn't do that. I just got the grappling hook.
Yeah.
Because screw everything else. Grappling
It's like you can swim infinitely. I am going to fly using a rope.
Hey Mako, how about you? Do you have
It's not
any
even- it's not even a machine
World of
grappling hook.
Wisdoms that you want to speak of?
My only thing is have fun. Like Jem said, do what you want and just have fun with it. Like as long as you're not like harshing anyone else's fun, fuck, have fun. That's all you need to do. Just have fun.
Rock out and rock on.
Exactly.
You, Nick?
Rock out with your cock out, don't you know?
Nope.
No.
Anyways,
Any wise words you want to leave people with, Nick?
Don't do drugs, kids.
Don't
Besides
do
that.
drugs.
don't do drugs unless you're in D&D.
Say- What?
Unless you're doing what?
Don't do drugs unless you're doing D&D.
D&D, drugs and destruction.
The newest D&D podcast, D&D and ketamine.
Don't do drugs unless specifically prescribed by your doctors. Those drugs you
by
can
a
have.
local
But you-
medical professional.
You know
God.
what you should do?
Me?
Is like, comment,
No.
and subscribe. What the fuck? My eyes hurting
what?
too much. Make sure to like,
Any-
comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell icon for the next YouTube videos.
Oh my
and with that
God.
being said, we are gonna end it on here because I am in pain,
Yeah.
Screw you.
and I
you're-
need to lie down and put a warm compress on my eyes.
my
'cause
God.
It hurts. So yes.
So
Understandable.
long, viewers.
So love you
I
guys.
didn't even say we did the Maasai. What the fuck?
And I'm gonna switch to this.
And now we're muted on my end, and now
We're not muted
now-
on my end. I just put myself on my just chatting.
And
My
here,
God.
I don't have
it
VTuber
really
Plus
hurts.
open. I went to just chatting, and now no one can see me.
Oh my God. Anyways, what's this shit? Oh yeah, for my side. If you guys want to know more about D&D and the campaign I'm doing, go to go to my channel.
Yeah, go to next. Oh my
Yeah.
God, my eyes.
Well, I guess I'm ending
I
it.
did the eye drops in the middle. I can't do another one.
Oof.
So, like,
Yeah.
6 hours.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, I'm
ending
sorry,
it.
Comfy.
Compress. Nah, it's all good. I thought I could
guess-
last a little bit longer. I didn't expect it to hurt.
Oof.
No, I get it.
Well, I guess we're ending here. See you guys.
What the fuck? Why is this?